Good evening, everyone. Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another very important live video update. Now, before we get into tonight's video, I do want to do a very special shout out to the lovely gentleman that I met at the food court earlier today. He came up and said hi, shared his story with me, how I was able to assist during some of the very challenging COVID period, and explained how he actually went on to actually run for one of the independent political parties recently. So thank you, sir, for coming up and sharing your story. And for anyone else out there, look, I do love to hear these sorts of stories. So if anyone does ever see me when you're out and about, please, do feel free to come up and say hi and, share your journey with me, because those sort of stories that keep me going week in, week out with all of the stuff that I do through the Know Your Rights group. And of course, the other big shout out goes to all of the great group of people that attended the Townsville events that we held over the weekend. It was really great to meet you all over the course of the 3 days, and really, even more importantly, just fantastic to see everybody join up as part of the local group, and of course to commit to keep working on all of the principles and strategies that we covered over the weekend. So good on everybody who made the effort to turn up. All right, so getting back to tonight's video, obviously the big news of the week has been that absolutely disgraceful and really offensive Olympic opening ceremony, where a bunch of drag queens made an absolute mockery of the Last Supper and successfully managed to offend 2.4 billion Christians. So well done to the Paris Olympic Committee. Now, if you haven't seen some of the images, here are some examples of what the Paris Olympic organisers thought was appropriate to share live, all over the world during the course of the Olympic ceremony. And in particular, of course, there's this clear reference to the Last Supper. Absolutely disgraceful stuff. Now, thankfully, though, there has been some huge backlash from people all around the world, actually, pointing out, the obvious hypocrisy and, what would have happened if, the same mockery had been made of any other faiths. And finally, the organisers actually had to remove the video from the opening ceremony from YouTube, and they actually were forced to issue a formal apology. So even the mainstream media reported on this, which was fantastic. So this is the article if anybody's missed it. It's entitled, "Paris Really, Really Sorry for Olympic Opening Ceremony." Paris Olympics organisers have issued an apology for any offence caused by their daring and quirky opening ceremony. There's nothing daring and quirky about it, it's just downright disgraceful. But denied any intention to show disrespect to any religious group. Some Catholic groups and French bishops have condemned what they saw as scenes of derision and mockery of Christianity in the parade on Friday, choreographed by theatre director Thomas Joly. Criticism has been focused on a scene involving dancers, drag queens and a DJ in poses that recalled depictions of the Last Supper, the final meal Jesus is said to have taken with his apostles. Clearly, there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group, Paris 2024 spokeswoman Anne Decamps told reporters on Sunday. If people have taken offence, we are, of course, really, really sorry, she added. Joly also denied taking inspiration from the Last Supper. Really? Not sure how you can't see that. But anyway, in his nearly 4-hour production, which took place under driving rain along the River Seine. The scene, intended to promote tolerance of different sexual and gender identities, also featured French actor Philippe Catherine, who appeared almost naked and painted blue as Dionysus, the Greek god of wine and pleasure. Again, someone please explain to me what different sexual and gender identities has to do with a sporting event like the Olympics. Okay, there's a time and place for that kind of stuff, and it's most assuredly not at the Olympics opening ceremony. Keep things in perspective, people. The idea was to do a big pagan party linked to the gods of Olympus, Jolly told the BFM channel on Sunday. You'll never find in my work any desire to mock or denigrate anyone. I wanted a ceremony that brings people together, that reconciles, but also has a ceremony that affirms our Republican values of liberty, equality, and fraternity, he added. Well, if that's genuinely what he was aiming for, he failed miserably because, as I said, he managed to upset 2.4 billion Christians and cause enough uproar and enough divide amongst people around the world that they had to take the video down from YouTube. So, big fail there. In one of the other striking moments of the ceremony, a woman holding a bloodied, severed head and intended to be executed French Queen Marie Antoinette appeared in a window of the Conciergerie, a building where she was imprisoned after the 1789 French Revolution. She was later guillotined along with her husband, Louis XVI. Certainly we're not glorifying this instrument of death, which is the guillotine, Jolly added. Well, what are you doing then? Again, what is the beheading of Marie Antoinette, back in 1789 got to do with sports people and the Olympics? Why even include it in an opening ceremony? What is the point? Okay, the satanic rituals and this woke agenda is just absolutely out of control, and we need to keep calling these people out on this rubbish. And when they make these ridiculous statements like, "Oh, that's not what we intended and that's not what we meant," and all of it, where's your evidence for that? Because clearly, the majority of people around the world were obviously upset about it. Now, look, I'm all for, celebrating sporting achievements and indeed significant achievements, of any kind. But, given what we saw at the opening of the London Olympics, I mean, who can forget that? And what we've just witnessed with the opening of the Paris Olympics, I, for one, am just not interested in watching. And I know a lot of other people who feel the same way. So I would certainly encourage everybody to voice their objection in, whatever form, either, passively or proactively, against this incessant woke agenda. And let's please keep reinforcing, this important mantra. Go woke, go broke. Okay, they need to get that message. Now, speaking of going broke, I want to share another important cashless update with everyone again tonight. And in particular, an article about a business that was actually about to go broke because of the significant issues that they kept having with their FPOS systems. And what they actually managed to do was turn their business around by going completely cardless and instead accepting only cash. So this is a great article for people to read, and especially business owners. This is the title of the article here. So it says, wild cash-only turnaround as Aussie's money disappeared, matter of staying alive. More evidence piles up to prove Australia is not ready for a cashless revolution. An Australian business owner has gone cash only to stay alive after being robbed of $10,000 through a dodgy FPOS system. The change meant that when thousands of companies were rendered useless in the dodgy FPOS system, Zapoli & Co. was happily trading. South Australian ice cream shop owner Stephen told Yahoo Finance he struggled with FPOS outages for 8 weeks before ditching digital payments completely 2 weeks ago. If he didn't, he feared his business would be forced to close down forever. Over the last month alone, our point of sale or POS system decided to stop taking payments, he said. So, say we did $500 in sales in one night, it would register only $35. The rest of that money would say it went through, but in the end, it just sort of disappeared. Despite having numerous conversations with the POS system provider and the bank, the owner said the money rarely made it into his account. He tried changing systems and banks several times, but he kept running into the same problem, and the bill quickly added up to $10,000. 2 months went by, and with staff and suppliers to pay, Stephen thought this could spell the end of his business. So he ditched all the fancy tech and now only relies on cold, hard cash. And then there's a subheading saying everything is up since the cash-only move. Zeppelin Co. brought in its cash-only policy about 2 weeks ago, and the timing couldn't have been more perfect. When businesses across the country had to turn away customers due to the global IT outage, Zeppoli was happily accepting cash. The support that we've got is amazing. People are coming in just because we're cash-only now, and we're stepping away from the banks and whatnot, he said. The next subtitle is Aussie FPOS struggle is not isolated. Rishi Merchandise, who runs the Mimilet Cafe in Melbourne, revealed to Yahoo Finance he'd lost hundreds of dollars worth of sales because his FPOS machine kept breaking during peak times. He had changed providers 5 times in 11 years and was sick of customers walking out. The cafe owner even brought in a 10% discount for people who use cash so that he didn't have to rely so much on the unreliable system. Cash advocate and founder of Cash Welcome, Jason Bryce, told Yahoo Finance that constant FPOS failures only further highlight the need for physical money to be in circulation. Payment systems are failing. It seems to be increasing, he said. You'd think with the increasing number of cashless transactions, the systems would, 1, get more reliable, and 2, get cheaper. But they're getting less reliable and they're getting more expensive. Card surcharges are going up and there seems to be more outages. We all need to carry cash in our pocket just to make sure that we don't get stranded when we're out and about. It certainly makes a lot of sense to me. So please, if you're a business owner especially, or if you know a business owner, then urge them to make sure that they accept cash as a form of payment, in addition to any FPOS system that they may have. And B, urge them to really take the time and actually stop and actually add up how much their FPOS machines are really costing them each year. And just to start thinking about what other sort of creative ways, things that they can come up with and implement to make the same amount of money themselves, but actually save their customers money in the process. Things like giving them a discount for cash, which in turn saves their customers from all of those additional bank fees as well. So as is the same with all the information that, I share on these videos, that we share on our radio shows, we need people to act together collectively and really help to educate others about these concepts. We need you all out there educating others on the true costs of using these tap and go cards rather than cash. Show them just how much money the banks are raking in each year, all for this perceived convenience of using card rather than cash. I mean, at the end of the day, it really comes down to this. Do you want to keep contributing to the record annual profits that the major banks keep posting each year? And if not, then you need to do something different. You need to use cash. It's as simple as that. So on that point, this is, of course, another timely reminder that if you haven't yet done so, please make sure that you do add your signature to Jason Bryce's petition. That, of course, is the one to legislate a formal cash and banking guarantee in this country. Again, you can just do a search for it online. Obviously, if you're watching this on Facebook, you should find a link going up in the comment section. Now, I'm very happy to report there's been 190,000 signatures for that petition now, which is absolutely huge. So keep going. Let's keep sharing that petition around, and let's ramp those numbers right up. And again, of course, on a similar point, do make sure you join our Call Out Cashless Businesses Facebook group. Let's keep naming and shaming those businesses that refuse to accept cash, and of course promoting those that do choose to use it, as well as the sister group, the Cash is King discussion group. And let's keep talking about these concepts. Let's get the message out there why it is so important to keep using cash and keep pushing back against this incessant cashless agenda. Again, if you're watching on Facebook, you'll find links in the description or in the comment section. Otherwise, just do a search online and you'll find them. Now, speaking of money, I want to finish off tonight with the latest article about people fighting back against fines. Now, interesting, the first article is actually about a counsellor who not only challenged a council issued fine, but actually the whole process of ticketless fines being issued, where they just go past and take a photo and then, send the ticket to you in the mail rather than putting it on your windscreen. So this is a really great article. So I urge you to go and have a look at this. It's entitled "Councillors Fight Against Sneaky Ticketless Parking After Copping $238 Fine." Georgia's River councillor Ashvini Ambahar Pahar copped a $238 ticketless fine in Hurstville in Sydney's southwest after pulling her car over in a no-stopping zone for safety reasons. She didn't receive the fine until 4 weeks later, when the dash cam footage corroborating her story had been deleted. Now she's leading the push to abolish ticketless fining in local councils. My front window was fogging up significantly. I couldn't see, so I had to pull over where it was safe, she said. I think it's very sneaky to do these drive-by ticketing. It's really unfair for any driver to get the fine 4 weeks later and then try and put the pieces together. She eventually had the fine overturned in court and managed to persuade Hurstville Council to ease up on ticketless fines when possible, handing out physical tickets instead. In 2023, paperless fines pulled in $139 million across the state, according to Revenue New South Wales. Now, that's just New South Wales. Imagine how much was brought in from these ticketless fines across the whole country. Okay, this is what a huge issue these fines are. Now, the final article that I want to cover tonight highlights how, increasingly frustrated, average, everyday people really are getting now with the government's blatant revenue raising practices. And they're again starting to really take these frustrations out on the cameras themselves. So this is what's going on now. People are setting fire to these mobile cameras and doing all sorts of crazy things, which I want to make it clear, we don't in any way, shape or form condone. But as I've said many times before, what is it that takes a normal, average, everyday citizen and gets them so frustrated that they take that kind of action? Clearly, people are getting fed up with this blatant and obvious revenue raising. So here is the article in relation to what they're doing. Now, this one comes out of Tasmania, but again, I know it applies in other states as well. So it says speed cameras play cat and mouse to dodge late night arson attacks as government launches review into operations. And it says mobile speed cameras are spending less time on state roads and being moved around more often in a game of cat and mouse that is hoped to reduce the risk of vandalism. Recent late-night arson attacks have left multiple camera trailers blackened and burnt out, prompting the state government to rethink where, when and for how long they are deployed. Polls can reveal that in May this year, the cameras spent a combined total of close to 1,800 enforcement hours on the roads issuing fines, around 500 hours less than for the same month the previous year. Deployments rose, however, from more than 300 in May 2023 to over 500 this year, as cameras were shifted around during the day and stored overnight to minimise potential vandalism risk. The Department of State Growth, I think it's the growth in revenue that they're referring to there, says a review of camera operations is underway to ensure they continue to reduce the likelihood of injuries and crashes as effectively as possible. Well, the problem with that statement is there's a presumption or a presupposition that they do, in fact, reduce the likelihood of injuries and crashes. And again, there's simply no data to show that, because more and more and more fines are being issued, as they admit in this article, yet the road toll keeps going up. So how can they claim that these devices are actually reducing the likelihood of injuries and crashes when that's not what the data shows? This review is ongoing, and in the interim, the department has focused on more frequent deployments, but for shorter periods, allowing more parts of the road network to be monitored. As of April, there were 16 mobile speed cameras, some that feature mobile phone and seatbelt detection capabilities, located across Tasmania, that had collectively raked in $10 million in fines since being launched. And that's only in Tasmania. Imagine again what they're making around the rest of the country. The next major change, now if you are in Tasmania, if you live in Tasmania, or if you're travelling to Tasmania, be aware of this. The next major change to how fines are issued is expected to come when average speed point-to-point cameras are introduced in the near future. So that's what the good old state government of Tasmania is bringing in under the guise of road safety, but of course to raise more revenue. So please, if you are concerned about receiving any type of unjust or unlawful fine, I would urge you, of course, to please make sure you grab a copy of that Aussie Speeding Fines book, and please get it before you get a fine so that you've got all the information available to you. So you've got that tried, tested and proven 3-step process from Chapter 3 that you can implement straight away as soon as you receive the fine. And that, of course, is going to give you the absolute best chance of successfully being able to beat it. All right, so just before I wind up tonight, I did mention at the start of tonight's video that we just completed our Townsville events over the weekend, and that means that we only have our Perth events, which are on in the middle of September, and then our end of year boot camp events on the Gold Coast in October, and then that is it for our live events for the foreseeable future. So please, if you want to take advantage of your absolute last chance to see us live in person, to learn all of the incredible updated information that we are sharing at this year's events, and of course get to ask us, personally, any questions you may have, please go to our seminar page. Again, you'll find a link in the description of this video and in the comment section, and book your seats ASAP, because once those events are full, that's it. There will be no more. So I'm going to leave things there for tonight, and as always, I do urge you to please make use of all of the various resources that are available to you to please get informed, get fired up and get proactive. We need that this year more than ever before. Of course, all these videos are completely free to watch. You'll find them on the videos tab on our Facebook page, of course on YouTube, and also our BitChute channel. Our radio shows completely free to listen to on Tuesday nights. Please note that we have a second break coming up next week, but we will be resuming again on the Tuesday the 13th of August, and then we'll be going back to every second week from that period. But we will be replaying another old show on Tuesday's time slot as well. Now, speaking of the events, I'll tell you what was really popular again at the seminars that we did in Townsville was these USB CD DVD drives, because everyone's like, yeah, we love your products, we just don't have computers with CD DVD drives anymore. So these all sold out again. I think we've only got 8 left. So please, if you do want one of these drives to plug into your laptop or computer, then do grab one of those. And of course, we also have our special USB sticks, the branded USB sticks with the little cover, so you don't lose them. You can pop them on a bookshelf, and they're really popular. And what else was really popular? Again, we sold out of these at those live events, and that of course was our ultimate pack. So if you're serious about learning about your rights, you want to dive right in, get a copy of every single physical product that we have, that is the pack for you. Again, you'll find a link somewhere there in the description or the comments, or you can find it on our products page. Of course, we do have, for those just starting out, things like our book, The Essential Step-by-Step Manual for Understanding and Exercising Your Rights. Of course, there's that Aussie Speeding Fines book, which I mentioned before, for challenging all unjust and unlawful fines. And of course, don't forget the Bank Secrets Reveal book. We know a lot of people are struggling financially, so please stop throwing good money after bad at these unsecured loans, these credit cards. They can be very easily discharged with that tried, tested and proven 4-step process. So do make sure you avail yourself of those. And of course, don't forget our special tote bags, which are included as a bonus just there. Now, it's just occurred to me, oh dear, I've almost done it again. I've almost forgotten the memes. I do have memes, so don't fear. We do have some memes to share with everybody tonight. Now, I'm not going to say anything about this one because, of course, I know all the Facebook fact checkers will have something to say about it, but I'm sure you can draw your own conclusions about that there. Yes, this is a good one. Some lessons in English. As it says, in the word knife, the K is silent. As it says there in tsunami, the T is silent. Psychology, P is silent. When it comes to vax injuries, The media is silent, and haven't we seen that the last few years? Yes, this one, another good one. Please take note of this, and hopefully everybody watching this video is indeed a smart person. As it says, a smart person will change their view if new information contradicts their belief. An indoctrinated person lacks this ability. They are conditioned to dismiss facts. You don't want to be the latter. Now, for those of you who are smart people who have woken up to the facts, get rid of this one from your vocabulary and focus more on this one. It's so easy to jump to the, well, I told you so, but maybe focus more on the, look, I'm really sorry that the system and the people that you trusted have actually lied to you all along. Much better approach to take. Yes, and this is the final one that I do want to leave you with. So important. If you stay silent and fail to rock the boat in this war between good and evil, your life might be easier, but your children's won't. So very, very powerful. So I am going to leave things there. I do hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I will be back again next Thursday night with another live video update. Until then, take care.